94.51.
Now, when you heard the song, when you first heard Ross' verse, did you think something was wrong with it? Did that line like stick out to you when you first heard it?
When I first, no, it didn't. When I first heard it, I was just, just going in, just vibing, and Ross the homie, he always, you know what I'm saying, he flowing. So, I was just like, dang, he flowing.
Have you spoke to Ross after this, through the whole incident?
Yeah, we spoke, but we didn't speak about that, We spoke about something else, he, on the official remix, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all this a big enough platform for me to let it out. But on the official remix, he got another verse. So we're gonna, when I drop the official remix, Ross, he come back with another verse on the official remix. So now y'all got something to really look forward to.
Damn, he should have did that a week ago and put the official apology to Reebok on that verse.
Yeah, man. I mean.
Now, you've been in New York a lot lately, so I'm going to assume that you have some big deals going on out here.
You've been in New York a lot.
Yeah, I got some big negotiations going on.
I think Rocko got a crib in New York now.
Yeah,
something's going on.
Been playing around at Inglewood, man.
See?
Nah, I just been moving around, just shaking and moving. I've been meeting with a lot of people. And
people have been saying it's hard to get a meeting with Rocko.
Yeah, and it's a lot of big business being discussed, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really not prepared to disclose, the type of big
meetings,
business
but I
that's been
assume
going on. But it's been some big business being discussed,
some big money being discussed,
some big business.
How's everything over there with L.A. Reid? Because I know he was doing the show at one time, so it felt like there was no real person running the company. How is it now with Future? Because I think Future's album should have did a lot more than it did the first time.
I think with Future album, it was a situation where, when you in business like me, I'm a businessman, so I understand business. In business, like when you pay out money, you have to have money coming in. So shout out to L.A. Reid, the whole Epic. They gave us a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So it was a situation where we were the only thing they had over there. So they had to put the album out. And I think, a lot of people are like, I think if y'all would have waited like 2-3 more months, then put the album out, would have did a lot better. But I look at it like, we put the album out. I think it was a good time to put the album out because not only did it show them, just the album is still selling, still this day. You know what I mean? Before the end of the year to be gold.
It's not always about first week sales.
Yeah, it's not about
time.
that. It's about the grind. We put the album out. He showed and proved, and now it's a situation. Not saying they didn't believe because they always believe. Epic always believed in them, but now it's a situation where he showed and proved. You know what I mean? So now it's like, dang, he's still selling. Dang, he's still dropping singles. They still going top 10. Dang. So now and then it's a situation where it's not like he came out and it didn't do well and then he went this way. He came out, it did what it did, and he just is like this.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I'm not mad at it.
Is Ciara helping Future or hurting Future? Because Charlamagne swears that she's the what? What do you call her?
Well, if you look at her history, the people she's dated, she's caused to go cold after she's dated them.
Like
Bow Wow, 50, Mari Stoudemire.
All right, and
that's facts.
I can't speak on that.
He's like, I'm not dating her.
I can't speak on that.
You think it might be too much Future out there too? That's why people didn't gravitate towards the album because there's so much music you can get from him. They might not know what album was what.
Nah, I think around the time the album came out, it was a situation where people didn't know. I don't think people knew. Then once people knew, he kept on doing videos, he kept on moving, he kept on working his move, and then people, then they found out the album was out, and then they were like, oh, the album out, dang, okay, and it's like his album, it just, it spiked, it kept spiking, what I'm saying, like still this day his album's still selling, so.
You feel like this is the best position you've been in so far in this music business?
Yeah, I feel like that. I'm in a good position right now, where I can move around when I want to rap, when I feel like rapping. I could rap, I could put out a mixtape, and I can move around, get me anywhere from 30, 25, 30,000 just to walk in the club when I feel like doing it. Then on top of that, if I don't feel like doing it, I could just sit back, and orchestrate the play and still get paid residually.
That's the old money talking.
You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like I'm in a good place right now. It's a major blessing. I never take it for granted.
What side you like better, executive or artist side?
Me personally, I like the executive part. I never cared to really rap and be in front of the camera. That's why people don't really see me that a lot. They were like, dang, Rocko, he's so underrated. Now Rocko's just low key. Rocko would rather sit back and play it from that way. But at the same time, Rocko is a hustler. and he gonna do whatever he got to do to get
And
paid.
talk about himself in third person.
And he gonna do whatever he got to do to get paid, whether it's rap, whether it's being executive, whether it's write, whatever it is, and he gonna do it.
Is there anybody you won't clear? Like if somebody wants to get Future on a record, you be like, nah, I definitely won't clear for this person.
No, I mean at the end of the day, Future, he has a liberty to do what he wants to do.
But you gotta clear it.
When it comes down to work with who he want to work with, it'll never be a situation where I block his paper. If it's a situation where it's like, get your paper. You know what I mean?
Now we got to talk Gucci. You're real close to Gucci. You and Gucci are like best friends.
Gucci, that's my round.
We scared of Gucci up here. Gucci crazy.
Gucci's off.
They're scared of Gucci. I'm not scared.
Yeah, we scared of Gucci. Gucci crazy. Gucci crazy.
Gucci, that's my round.
It's not a fair, but you got to know who to play with. And
Right,
Gucci is not the type of person to play with.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Gucci sit right here with his bag and his strap the whole interview. Right here. And let you know what it is.
Well, recently Gucci, they said, had to check into a psychiatric hospital. They're going to evaluate him. And, do you think that there's something like that he needs to deal with that you're concerned about? Because there's incidents where he'll flip out sometimes. And as somebody that's really close to him, are you like, okay, you know what? Maybe you do need to chill out or figure out something?
Man, with me, all I could do, with people I care about, all I could do is just pray for them. Because especially when you're dealing with grown men, you're dealing with adults, you know what I mean? Yeah, and it's like, even somebody asked me about another situation with another artist. It's like, even when you're dealing with artists be sensitive about about what they do. Like if I say, say for instance, if somebody say something, and I come like, man, I don't think you should have said that. Like, what? You really like, if somebody come at me like that, I'm like, what? So it's like when you're dealing with grown-ups and grown men, you have to just pray for them and wish the best for them.
Yeah, I asked him and then I ducked. I was like, I heard you were bipolar, and then
Yes, he does.
I did.
Now, also, you were signed, last time I seen you, you were doing a deal with E.O.E.N.O. E.O.E.N.O. gave you a check. You had a check in your pocket for like 3-4 weeks, and then you decided you didn't want to do the deal and gave him back the check?
Is that a true story?
That's false.
Okay, so what was the story?
Nah, E.O.E.N.O, shout out to E.O.E.N.O, they reached out to me. They wanted to do something with me, and I, it was a good situation for me. But then, it's like once I really got the shaking the move.
Did they give you the money and you gave it back?
They gave me the money. I gave it back. But not to discredit E.O.E.N, because I like everybody over there. I had the utmost respect for them. But as far as like, me being in the Rocko business, you know what I'm saying? Rocko doesn't wait for nobody. You know what I mean? It's like, if we in business, we say we're gonna do something, let's keep the respect level high, and let's do what we say we're gonna do when we say we're gonna do it. It's not gonna be a situation we say we're gonna do this. Okay, Monday we're gonna do this. I come to New York. Monday, you're not prepared to move on that. Okay, cool. We got to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? KIM, my favorite acronym. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep it moving.
Where's Rocko now? What are you signed to now? You independent?
Rocko independent. Rocko A1.
You staying independent?
I don't know.
That's why he's over here.
I'm open for discussion, open for conversation.
Well, this Breakfast Club records here.
So who's next? Who's next? Who's next down the pipeline? You gave us Future. Who you see out there next that we don't know about?
Right now, I got a new artist I'm working with named Bloody J. He going in. He crazy. He coming.
Bloody J.
Bloody J.
Scared of him already. I don't even know him.
So is Rocko gonna pull T-Pain to the side when he see him and say, "Hey, let me talk to you for a minute, buddy"?
Nah, man, it's a situation where I think T-Pain understood what he did. It's like sometimes as people, we do things, without thinking about it. Like me personally, I try to put everything on the scale prior to doing it, weigh the pros and the cons. But I think with T-Pain, he just kind of said it and he didn't realize what he was saying. And I think now, now that I talked about it, I think he got to understand on what he said. He apologized. He had people reach out to me and tell me, he was sorry for doing it and he didn't mean it like that and he didn't mean it like that. So, we're going to give T-Pain a pass on that, you know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, we're going to give him a pass.
Okay.
Thank
It's
you.
Rocko, ladies and gentlemen. And when are we getting this album?
Probably like September. I'm going to drop the Seeing is Believing. But come Memorial Day weekend, I'm dropping a mixtape called Lingo for Dummies. You know what I mean? Crazy. Because, like everybody, they be like, man, Rocko, why this dude always spell his song so crazy? Like I spell I'ma do me with the U.
Right.
Then I spelled like you don't even know it. Like U.O.E.N.O. You know what I'm saying? They like, man, what's up with this guy? So I got the Lingo for Dummies coming. Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, Rosetta Stone.
Rosetta Stone.
You know what I mean? So yeah, be on the lookout for that, man. It's epic too.
All right, it's the Breakfast Club. It's Power 105.1. It's Rocko.